No, I'm gonna take it to relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel this is applicable for relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was talking to a friend the other day, a friend of the show, and we were talking about how I can't remember who exactly it was, but it was some chick. It was somebody who had kids.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we were talking about Kim and Kanye.
Okay.
Somehow, and how Kim is supposed to be independent, or like the independent movement is here and all of that. And Kim is getting a bag on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she was still given $200,000 of Kanye's money for some reason. So that took us into...
Oh, okay. I was confused. Okay, I'm following.
Right. So, they got divorced, and then she got the child support.
Okay,
and it was just like, what does she need support for if she's independent? And then I was saying how they have a ton of kids. And as we glorify that so much, but that's now a broken family. Right?
Ultimately, unfortunately.
And what a lot of independent women see is what Kim is doing, but they not Kim,
right?
They couldn't be Kim on Kim's worst day. So
that woman is very smart. I don't care what nobody say about her. That woman is extremely smart, and I love that for her. I'm
not hating on Kim.
No, I'm not saying you are, but I'm just making that like statement, like, because I feel like a lot of people put her down. But rather than put her down, if you see what her intentions were, that woman was very intentional about how she did it. Did she make mistakes along the way or whatever? Of course, who wouldn't, right? Like, but the fact that she did what she had to do to get to where she wanted, that woman is a billionaire. And speak your salary and your bank account. Like, but, I'm speaking because I'm gonna be there with her.
But even in the law knows that support is needed.
Right,
is what I was saying.
Okay,
and
right.
And that's what I was getting at was there are so many women out here who probably need support, and they've been doing it by themselves independently so long that they don't even know how to accept real help or a real man.
Okay.
And and that's why, I said that, claiming independence can be harmful.
It can be.
Because even Beyonce had a song, All My Independent Ladies, but it was with Jay
the whole time. Right.
And this is something that is pushed out there. So my question to you is, have you ever seen that where?
Yes, I checked I checked my mom on it. It's so crazy because when my mom was in the hospital, right? And if you know me, my mom is the same way. Like, we're very outgoing. Like, people talk to us, whatever. So the nurses used to love us. So they would all of them would be in our room or whatever. So this one lady was talking about she wanted to have a kid, but she was just waiting for her man, her husband, whatever. And my mother was like, "Oh, you could do it." I was like, "Don't you get her that badass advice?" Like, I was like, "No, don't tell no woman that she could do it by herself." I said, because ultimately it's not that she can if she had to. Right. But I do realize that who's really going to be impacted is that child.
Right.
That child need both of their parents. Like, and if you can help it, allow both of those parents to be under the same roof. Like, why would you want her to go through the struggle? Like you didn't go through the struggle by yourself, because my father was very active. Granted, y'all are not together, but you had my grandfather, my grandmother, you had my aunt. Like, yes, you had a tribe, in fact, to help you, which is great. However, why would you tell somebody to volunteer to do this by themselves? It ain't easy. Like, granted, I don't have kids, but I was raised in a house with just a mom, and my dad was very present. They just wasn't together. Cooking
and cleaning is like a big thing in our culture, and it's like a ever going conversation since the 2000s, but prior to we was born. But even men just be like, if I pay all the bills and stuff, I just don't want to do that.
Right.
Men don't ever be like, you know what? Now, granted, there are a lot of men who say I can do I can do it myself. But let them get somebody who can help them with it. Let them get somebody who can add value and do that.
So
like I just feel like that, like the movement, and you can attest to this, but the movement is to put women in a very, very uncomfortable space that I've seen it when they get older, and if they do have kids, it's a struggle to allow someone in, and it's a struggle to even connect because you think that you always right, and you don't want to talk. You don't want to even discuss it.
It's so funny because I feel like this is one of those cliche posts that they be posting on social media or whatever. But I feel like people have gotten away from just the understanding of a helpmate. Your partner is supposed to be a helpmate, right? What happens in your four walls, in my opinion, depends on how you guys help each other.
Right.
Like, I grew up in a house where my uncle was a chef.
Right.
My uncle did the cooking, but my uncle also was the breadwinner.
Right.
And it wasn't so much as that he was forced to do. Granted, my aunt did cook or whatever.
Right.
She helped maintain the house, and for the most part, she worked as well. However, like, some people may have a problem with that, and it's just like, what works for you and your helpmate works for you and your helpmate, but don't. And I actually tell like friends that I've actually had this conversation many times with friends, like something my dad taught me along with like my uncle, my grandfather, men are fixers. Like, I had to learn that even just more recently when I would call my dad and I wanted to vent, right? Like, understand that me calling him the vent, he was already trying to fix it.
Right.
like the role of men in my life, right, and what I've witnessed, and even other people's, if you call a man with a problem, they're going to try to fix it.
Yeah,
like,
we ain't got time for problems
because they don't want to keep hearing it. It's like, see a
what
need,
we gonna do about it?
See a need, fill a need, complete the need, like or
say that again.
See a need, fill a need, fix the need, like. So it's just like when you understand, I feel like it's no difference than knowing your audience. And we talked about it a little before, like emotional intelligence. Like, if you know that, and I feel like this is something too that we get away from, innate abilities and learned abilities, right? Like, and I always joke and say to some friends that, that feel like they are on the same quote unquote more or less playing field with their man. If somebody jumped out, are you gonna move to the side? Or are you gonna jump in front of your man? What you gonna do? Right. Because most times the man, right, like, you not even, what woman I mean, granted, there might be some, I can't speak, but a man is naturally going to step forward, like, excuse me, what happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, not all, because there are some, that are not that equipped with those innate abilities. But for the most part, it's just like, sis, like, chill. Like, I tell friends, I feel like a lot of times they don't respect their man. So because they don't respect their man, like, and or that man have not offered you peace or whatever that looks like for you, where you can be comfortable you feel comfortable with the decisions that he make, to where it's just like, it's a constant battle. Right. And it's like, until you've experienced that, like, you're never going to really, like, fall back, like, and not be so, like, raw or like, I'll do it. Like, I don't want to do it. Like, my man around, my wrist break. Right. I can't do nothing.
I just think that in like you said, a helpmate. Who doesn't want help?
Yes.
Like, who doesn't want support?
That is so big, and
it's stupid.
But not only that, understand that help and peace is going to be different for everyone. Right. Right. And you have to, and I think that's what it is, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of people don't know themselves, don't know what what they need their other person to have to help them feel more like at peace, because they don't know. Right. Like, because they're so busy trying to survive and maintain or whatever. So because they don't know that, it's just like, how do I know what I need from you and I don't even actually know what I need for myself. Like, because all I know is I need a shelter, I need this, I need that. Like, you know, I need this, the normal things more or less, but not realizing that sometimes that thing you feel like he's not giving you may be support, right? Like sometimes explaining to your partner, like, babe, when I'm excited about something, not saying you got to jump up and down, but if you can show some of that excitement for me, that would mean the world to me. Or if I'm being celebrated for something, show up. Like, you know, just whatever that may be for that person, like literally just being able to one, express that, and for your partner to receive it, and then just show up how it is that you need.
Yeah, it's a lot of good men out here. Like you said, you know, your father was that for you. Then you had, you know, your mom had your grandfather and
my uncles
and your uncles. And that takes me to another thing that I have here because, and I touched on another podcast, but I wanted to bring it up here.
Regular people and on the media.
Because I feel like, you know, I don't hear about it as much, but sometimes people still need to hear the numbers because there are good men out there.
Yes.
And there are good fathers out there.
I know a lot.
And
I'm looking at one.
And there are good black fathers out here